I bet you didn't know the incredible journey of a prince who became a spiritual icon. See this video to the end and you will find out why great intellects turn into sadhus. Okay, now let's dive into the bustling city of Nepal, where Siddhartha Gautama, who would later become known as the Gautama Buddha, was born into a life of privilege in ancient India around the 6th century BCE. His father, King Suddhodana, ruled the Shakya clan. His mother, Queen Maya, sadly passed away just a week after his birth. Young Siddhartha was raised in luxury, shielded from the harsh realities of life outside the palace walls. Astrologers predicted that Siddhartha would either become a great king or a renowned spiritual leader. King Suddhodana, determined to see his son ascend to the throne, ensured Siddhartha lived a life of ease and pleasure. The prince was surrounded by servants, entertained lavishly, and provided with every material comfort imaginable. Despite this life of abundance, a sense of unease lingered within Siddhartha. He felt a disconnect between the opulence of his life and the world beyond the palace walls. This feeling of disquiet would eventually lead him on a quest for a greater truth. At the age of 29, Siddhartha ventured outside the palace walls for the first time. These excursions, carefully orchestrated by his father, were meant to expose him only to the pleasant aspects of life. However, fate had other plans. On these outings, Siddhartha encountered what are now known as the four sights. First, he saw an old man, his body ravaged by time. This encounter shattered Siddhartha's illusion of eternal youth and beauty. Next, he came across a sick man, racked with pain and disease. This sight filled him with a profound sense of discomfort and highlighted the fragility of human health. The third encounter was with a funeral procession. Witnessing a lifeless corpse being carried away made Siddhartha acutely aware of the inevitability of death. These three encounters deeply disturbed Siddhartha, forcing him to confront the harsh realities of human existence. The final encounter proved to be a turning point in Siddhartha's life. He came across an ascetic, a wandering holy man who had renounced material possessions in pursuit of spiritual liberation. The ascetic's demeanor, radiating serenity and purpose, deeply moved Siddhartha. He saw in the ascetic a path to understanding the suffering he had witnessed. Determined to find an end to suffering, Siddhartha resolved to leave his life of luxury behind. He renounced his princely life and embarked on a spiritual quest. He sought guidance from renowned teachers, delving into various philosophies and practices. He rigorously practiced asceticism, subjecting himself to extreme self-discipline and deprivation. For 6 years, Siddhartha lived as an ascetic, pushing his body and mind to their limits. However, he found that extreme asceticism only brought him closer to death, not enlightenment. He realized that true liberation could not be found in self-mortification or in a life of indulgence. Dissatisfied with his ascetic practices, Siddhartha decided to change his approach. He recalled a childhood memory of attaining a state of deep meditative absorption. Recognizing the power of meditation, he resolved to sit in meditation until he reached enlightenment. He sat beneath a peepal tree, now known as the Bodhi tree, and vowed not to rise until he found the answers he sought. After 49 days of intense meditation, Siddhartha attained enlightenment. He had found the middle way, a path that avoided the extremes of both self-indulgence and self-mortification. He understood the nature of suffering, its cause, its cessation, and the path to overcome it. From that moment on, he became known as the Buddha, the Awakened One. Section 5, The Teachings of the Buddha. The Buddha's teachings, rooted in his own experiences, offered a practical approach to alleviating suffering and achieving liberation. Central to his teachings are the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. The Four Noble Truths explain the nature of suffering. Firstly, suffering exists. Life inevitably involves physical and emotional pain. Secondly, there is a cause for suffering, which is attachment and craving. We crave pleasure, permanence, and control, but these desires lead to dissatisfaction and suffering. Thirdly, there is an end to suffering, which is nirvana, a state of liberation from attachment and craving. Finally, there is a path to end suffering, which is the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path outlines the path to liberation, encompassing right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. The Buddha's teachings spread throughout India and beyond. His message of compassion, wisdom, and personal transformation continues to resonate with millions worldwide. The Buddha's legacy lies in his timeless teachings, offering a path to navigate the complexities of life and find lasting peace and happiness.